الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيد النبيين اللهم صل على محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أما بعد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم in Surah Al-Anfal ayah number 2 to 4 إنما المؤمنون الذين إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم وإذا تليت عليهم آياته زادتهم إيمانا وعلى ربهم يتوكلون الذين يقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون أولئك هم المؤمنون حقا لهم درجات عند ربهم ومغفرة ورزق كريم صدق الله العظيم. So last time we spoke about a week ago, we said we will continue the topic as we move forward, but there is a 1 week of gap, so there isn't much continuity. So I thought I will pick another topic today, which I picked from Surah Al-Anfal. The topic is about the 5 qualities of the Muslims, the mu'minun, and those 5 qualities I will go over them very briefly in this session. So in the very beginning of this ayah, the ayah number 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُم. He's saying, he's defining basically the qualities of the mu'min, and he's saying, these are the people who possess, if I may use a word, if I may paraphrase it instead of word-to-word translation, if I just simply paraphrase it, it means that he's saying these are the qualities of Muslims, the qualities of mu'minun, and then he say, إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُم, number 1, وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا, number 2, وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ, number 3, الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ, number 3, and number 4 and number 5. And then he goes into saying, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ حَقًّا. Then he's saying these are the absolutely truthful believers. And then he said, I'll give you 3 rewards. Number 1 reward is لَهُمْ دَرَجَاتٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, that he has levels for them. He has a level for them. And this is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he forgives them. And then he gives them rizqun kareem, meaning that there is a sustenance, not just a sustenance with honor, a rizqun kareem. So let me go through those 5 the qualities. We may not be able to go through them in detail. 15 minutes is not enough time, but we will do our best, inshallah. So very first, if I may use the word sift or quality, he said, الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُم, that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned to them, they have this fear in their heart. I want to define what fear means. There are 2 kinds of fear for the sake of discussion. One fear is that a person has a nightmare, or the person is followed by perhaps somebody is going to kill him. So there is a fear in that person. But this fear we're talking about is not that, because Allah has used the word wajr. Allah has not used the word khawf. Allah has not used the word khawf. Allah has used the word wajr. The word wajr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using the word wajr, means that you have this, if I may use the English word fear for the sake of discussion, You have this in your heart when you are attracted towards a sin, towards a wrongdoing, a bad deed. You have this in you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in your heart, and you do not follow through that bad deed just because you have this fear that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there to watch you. Like Rasulullah said that when you make salah, you behave as if you feel the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. So you have this kind of surrounding around you, or the shell around you in your heart, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you, and that's why you do not commit the sin. That is what this wajl is all about. But if you go further, you take it, it's not about I want to further build on it for a second here. So when you love somebody, when you like somebody, when you are passionately in love with somebody, what do? You do not want to make an action. You don't want to say something that will upset that person. You do not want to, do something that will go against that person's will. You have this much love in your heart, and you always feel that anytime you do say something, or you will do something that will upset a person, you try to avoid that as much as possible, or you avoid that absolutely. That's what wajr is all about. Now, in other place in the Quran, while I was reading the tafsir, I ran into this beautiful another ayah that is connected with this ayah that I recited to you. This is about, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Hajj, ayah number 34, وَبَشِّرِ الْمُخْبِتِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ. Give the glad tidings, give the good news to al-mukhbitin, give them the good news to al-mukhbitin, إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ. When, same thing, that when they have this fear, they have wajl in their heart for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then I start thinking about, what does it mean, mukhbitin? What does this come from, mukhbitin? So I further reading the tafsir and reading the different scholars and talking to different scholars, it's interesting to know the people who are called mukhbitin has the higher level than a mu'min, higher level than a Muslim, which is the next level, which was really eye-opening for me today, by the way. And there is no real, equivalent meaning of mukhbitin from Arabic language to an English. But you can, for the sake of the discussion, academic discussion, and then I'll go further, build on it, you could say that it includes those who, number one, give up pride, arrogance, and adopt humility before Allah. That's number one. Number two, they completely surrender. And when I use the word surrender, it means when Ibrahim alayhi salam was asked, aslamtu, surrender, and Ibrahim alayhi salam would say, I have submitted. You're talking about the absolute submission to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to his service and to his slavery, if I may use the word. Number three, accept his decrees sincerely, honestly accept his decree. So the overall mukhbitin are these people. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking in Surah Hajj, and then he talk about mukhbitin, I wanted to get a little bit more detail academically. What does it mean? So the word mukhbitin comes, of course, it's a plural. So it's a mukhbit is singular, and it comes from word khabt. The word khabt. Now, different languages have translated the khabt into different way, and perhaps in English language, khabt is, in Urdu language, Khabt is taken as a negative. It is not a negative word. It is a positive word. So khabt mean, I want to take this further and help people understand this. Khabt mean metaphorically, or you can say as an example, a person is in desert. Okay, this is how you explain this word. A person is in desert. He has water and he has a palm tree where he eats the dates from. That's all he got. And he would not get away from it because he thinks as soon as he get away from it, he will die. If you use this term, if you use this analogy, in other words, that means a person in his heart, he believes if he gets away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and if he gets away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's destined to disaster. That's what I'm trying to say. His destiny is a disaster. So the person living a life in this world, working, making his livelihood, not living like a monk, making his livelihood, but at the same time, in his heart, he lives in a desert, meaning that he does not get connected with any materialistic things in this world. Absolutely not, because he knows and she knows this is temporarily. This is not something going to stay with him forever. That is a person who called mukhbit. And that person in Surah Al-Hajj is a Haji, for example. So people who go for Hajj, they are mukhbitin. Okay, those people who stay at home behind, they're gonna have the the Eid, they slaughter the animal and all that. Those people are mu'mineen and Muslimin. Just wanted to kind of go through this in a little bit more detail because it was very fascinating for me to learn the mukhbitin and to learn what's the meaning of Fajr. I'm running out of time, but I just want to run to my second quality. The second quality of a mu'min is when Quran is recited before them, the iman is increasing. They're always in need of increasing the iman. They always make efforts to increase the iman. And somebody said in a beautiful poetry, he said, وإذا حلت الحلاوة قلبا نشطت في العبادة الأعضاء. يعني, if your heart has accepted the iman, it understands the taste, the sweetness of iman, then your heart rules. You never get tired. All the other a'dha in your body, your hands, your eyes, your mouth, your ears, never get tired ever, because your heart never gets tired. So somebody gave an example. If you're sitting down and, for example, watching a movie and your heart is in it, then your eyes, your brain, your whole body will never feel tired. You will go through that as if you are, as I say, on your toes. Similarly, if your heart is connected with the ibadah, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will never get tired worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your hand, your feet, your ears, your eyes, your brain, nothing will get tired because you are passionately worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think I'm out of time. غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير وآخر